Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about modern heritage style. It's a design style that values soul and a sense of permanence over fleeting trends, as it blends antique and vintage elements into the home, but in a way that makes sense for the way that we live today. We'll dig into everything from architectural materials and furniture to lighting and decor, so you can create this layered historic feel in your own home. If you want a space that feels like it's been there for a century but still works in our modern world, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Creating a home that feels both current and historical is a deliberate exercise in balance. It isn't about buying a matching set, it's about visual friction, layering the storied against the new. The modern heritage lens is how we achieve a space that feels deeply personal and collected over time. When we look at the bones of a modern heritage home, we're really talking about building a sense of history into the shell of the house and layering in details at every opportunity. On the walls, it's all about depth, character, and texture. We're seeing detailed paneling, think picture frame molding or high wainscoting. We're also seeing heritage wallpaper, sometimes inside wall panels. Archival botanicals from brands like Morris & Co. are prevalent. Whether wallpaper or hand-painted, scenic murals are a very popular modern heritage feature because they make a new room feel like it's been there for a century. We've been decorating with murals since we lived in caves, so they are seeped in history. The material palette is shifting toward high contrast textures. We are seeing a lot of Zellige style wall tiles with high gloss finish that creates a beautiful ripple effect against matte cabinetry. Zellige tiles have been used for centuries. They originated in Morocco before making their way across Europe, appearing in everything from palaces and pools to mosaics. Each tile is handmade by an artisan, so the tiles add history, art, and a handcrafted element to the modern heritage home. For the floors, the trend is tile and stone in classic timeless patterns. Popular patterns include the octagon and dot, as well as the checkered print in large tiles, often in high contrast. Even the wood floors take part in the pattern play, as we're seeing herringbone and chevron parquet floors. Character wood and mid-tone oaks add warmth and feel organic underfoot. In the kitchen and bathrooms, we are moving away from perfect surfaces. Honed marble and soapstone are the go-tos for countertops. Incorporating natural materials like marble root a modern heritage home in history, as marble has been used in construction since ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. A hardworking material, marble circumvents trends. It stands the test of time, literally. It's a material that isn't afraid to show its age, developing a soft, lived-in feel that only gets better the more it's used. In a modern heritage home, you may see bolder marble choices. For example, stronger contrasting colors, deeper, more dramatic veining, matching marble on the countertops to niches or on shelves, and marble on the countertops that continues up the backsplash, which creates a monolithic, stone-heavy look. Against those full slab backsplashes, the brass pot filler has become a functional focal point. It's a piece of utility jewelry that anchors the stove area. In terms of metals, we are seeing a lot of unlacquered brass. It's used for everything from faucets to cabinet handles because it's a living finish. It tarnishes over time, which adds to that soulful antique vibe. The furniture and rugs are what make the house feel collected rather than decorated. The key word here is heirloom. In the living room, you'll see skirted sofas and armchairs with traditional shapes, but they're balanced out by modern elements like curved boucle swivel chairs or a coffee table with a contemporary silhouette. A huge part of this look is reimagined vintage pieces. We're seeing traditional or even dated furniture styles, think heavy wingbacks or formal Victorian frames, being recovered in modern colors and patterns, or in high-texture fabrics like chunky linens or performance velvets. This breathes new life into a piece that has fallen out of popularity, making it feel fresh and relevant for 2026. If not a true antique or vintage piece, furniture is inspired by styles of the past. Modern heritage design often features pieces with incredible detail on furniture fronts, from arched door panels to beaded inset cabinetry and ribbing. These architectural touches give the wood a sense of craftsmanship that moves away from generic mass-produced looks. Cabinetry is increasingly designed to look like standalone furniture, often featuring glass fronts, sometimes reeded or antique glass, and open shelving to break up the boxy look of standard upper cabinets. With modern heritage, we're moving away from bathroom furniture being strictly vanities. Wooden stools are tucked next to tubs or sinks, and even freestanding wardrobes used for towel storage to give the bathroom a warmer, more furnished look. In the kitchen, many are forgoing the traditional boxy island in favor of a tall tabletop or dining table, creating a more open, furniture-forward layout. Regardless of the room, the furniture must strike a balance between old and new, modern and heritage. This theme continues with rugs. Area rugs are preferred over wall-to-wall carpet and appear in all the rooms of the home, including the bathroom. We're seeing hand-knotted vintage Persians in all colors, but sun-faded tones like pinks that have turned to terracotta and blues that have been turned to slate add an aged element. If the room is feeling too traditional, rugs are an opportunity to bring the room into today with a wool or jute rug or a rug with a contemporary pattern. While rugs and furniture should add a sense of history to the home, they should be well maintained and in good condition. Pieces may show their age, but in a refined way. Think hardware with patina, not chipped paint, split wood, or worn-out rugs. Lighting in this style is treated like jewelry for the home, and it's arguably the most important part of the modern heritage look. For overhead lights, one of the go-tos for the modern heritage style is the antique or vintage ornate brass and crystal chandelier, or a more contemporary option, which mimics the look. They appear in the dining room, bedroom, and even the kitchen. Whether it's in the entryway or the dining room, you'll want that sparkle. The brass should be aged or antique, never a high shine yellow. And the crystals should be heavy enough to catch the light. In addition to brass, other popular lighting materials include gilded metal, wrought iron, clear glass, and milk glass. Pendant lights with neutral colored shades made from ceramic, metal, and glass are seen in the kitchen and dining rooms. A more feminine version appears with frilly, ribbed glass pendants with aged brass hardware. These lights are a good example of antique and vintage-inspired lighting options. For floor and table lamps, we are seeing bases made of turned wood, heavy stone, or dark metal, often resembling antique trophy bases. Marble-based lamps are also having a moment. Lamps are a good example of the modern heritage mantra, one part modern and one part traditional, as vintage lamp bases feature modern lampshades and vice versa. When it comes to lampshades, modern heritage design favors tapered or pleated shades, specifically the coulis shape. These pleated lampshades are often linen fabric and dominated by white and cream colors, with occasional appearances of shades featuring small floral prints, black, and rattan. In addition to table lamps, the modern heritage home makes good use of accent and task lighting with sconces, art lights, and reading lamps. When it comes to lighting, the options are plentiful. The color palette starts with cozy neutrals including cloud whites, creamy whites, or warm earthy mushrooms and taupes, which dominate the cabinetry and walls. White and other neutral colors often provide the base color for the home and are accented with dark browns and blacks. For those who want to step outside of the white and beige family, modern heritage leans into moody shades. Think forest and moss greens, stormy blues, and burgundies. Muddy colors are also popular. Dusty pinks, blues, greens, and gray colors that seem like they have been faded from years in the sun or have a tint of brown undertone due to their age. When it comes to patterns, the modern heritage look relies on pattern mixology, mixing different patterns as if they had been added over time, not decorated over the weekend. The goal isn't to match, it's to harmonize. Patterns and prints appear on the floors, walls, pillowcases, and furniture, but in moderation. The decor is the final polish and opportunity to add character to the home. Textiles are incredibly tactile. We're seeing scenic landscape tapestries used as massive wall art and turned into heavy decorative pillows. More texture comes in with window treatments. In a modern heritage home, window treatments range in weight from velvet to linen. Curtains may be pleated, Roman shades may be draped, but no matter the style, the look is luxe. Mirrors and frames add drama in shape and detail. Ideally, they are antique wood in a dark stain or gilded with details. Speaking of details, modern heritage design often features brass rails on shelves as if they are protecting all the antique and vintage treasures living behind them. The knickknacks are curated to feel academic. It's about sculptural objects, specifically plaster busts, antique model ships, and stacks of vintage books that look like they've been collected over decades. You'll see rustic, unglazed clay vases that look like they came from an archaeological dig, such as terracotta pots. They are often placed right next to something formal, like a brass candlestick or a crystal bowl, to create that high-low tension. For plants and flowers, the look is foraged. Instead of formal arrangements, people are putting dried branches, long-stemmed wild grasses, or a few single variety white tulips into rustic pottery vases, silver julep cups, and delicate glass vessels. Finally, the art is layered and collected over time. Gallery walls mix gold-framed oil portraits with sketches, photos, and watercolors so that the art on display balances both history and modernity. Frames may be varied, but the most popular frame is antique, gilded, and detailed, which is what makes the space feel lived in and deeply connected to history. The key to mastering this look is balancing the new and the old to get a home with soul, but a young soul. If a room is feeling too traditional, it may be feeling dated because you have too many antiques. To pivot, add in some modern elements. Switch out a traditional lampshade for a modern shape. Recover the vintage chair in a contemporary print or texture, or add a rug in a solid grounded color or a modern geometric print. For a smaller change, remove your antique or vintage art from its frame and display it as a canvas. This will make it feel less formal, less like an art gallery, and more casual, cool. If you need a frame, try a clean, solid colored frame rather than one with embellishments. Another option is to change the art. Swap out your oil paintings for photographs, modern illustrations, or abstract art. If your room is feeling too big box store or too new construction and lacks character, bring in some pieces with history. If you have the budget, source a piece of antique or vintage furniture from an estate sale, eBay, or First Dibs. If you're not ready to commit financially or stylistically to new old furniture, try a lamp. A vintage brass reading lamp or a tollware lamp instantly adds history to your home. Tollware is tinned steel or black iron that has been lacquered or enameled and is typically adorned with hand-painted designs. The antique version was popular 200 years ago, but you can find vintage ones from the 1950s or the 1960s and bring a bit of traditional and Hollywood Regency design into your home. Vintage picture frames, mirrors, candlesticks, and assorted bric-a-brac are relatively easy to source and incorporate. Swap out your store-bought vase for handmade pottery. Use a vintage box to hide your keys, remote controls, or random rubber bands. Adding vintage art or antique-inspired oil paintings is an easy way to add the heritage element to a modern space. If the matting of your art reads too contemporary or modern, try covering them with a textile. I DIY'd this in a previous video. It adds texture and a handcrafted element. If white matting reads too new and bright, you may want to age it with a tea dyeing technique. Rugs can be tricky. Antique and vintage rugs can be expensive, even the runner size. A savings hack, other than sourcing from estate sales, auctions, thrift stores, and Facebook Marketplace, is to buy smaller, more affordable rugs and layer them, or source rugs that are made from antique rug remnants. Artisans on Etsy refurbish old, damaged rugs, giving them new life. Those are a few of my tips for getting the look on a budget. I hope this deep dive into modern heritage design gives you the confidence to start incorporating the style into your own home. This style isn't about being perfect, it's about choosing materials and pieces that tell a story, pieces with age and that age with you. If you have specific questions about where to find antique and vintage pieces, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you. Check out my Poshmark for vintage items that will give your home the modern heritage look. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button and check out some of these other videos on my interior design styles and decorating playlist. You may like dark or light academia, the Nancy Meyers video, and some of the other videos that overlap with modern heritage. If you like thrifting, interior design, and DIY, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you get an alert when I post new videos. As always, thank you for watching and subscribing. I'll see you on Saturday. Bye!